Hey everyone, and welcome back to the show. Today we're diving deep into a topic I know touches so many of you out there, learning English. It's a journey, right? Full of ups and downs, breakthroughs, and, let's be honest, sometimes really frustrating roadblocks. We hear from listeners all the time, sharing their struggles, and it got us thinking, what are the biggest, most common barriers people face when trying to learn English? And more importantly, how do we smash through them? I'm so excited to explore this with my friend and co-conspirator in language learning, who's got some incredible insights for us today.
Thanks for having me. Oh, you hit the nail on the head. Learning English, or any language really, is a marathon, not a sprint. And those roadblocks, they're very real. I mean, I've been there myself, especially when I was trying to pick up Spanish. I remember this one time, I was in a cafe in Barcelona, trying to order a coffee, and I just froze. My mind went blank. All those hours of studying grammar, all that vocabulary, just vanished. The waiter was looking at me, I was flustered, and I ended up just pointing. It was mortifying. And that, right there, is probably the #1 barrier for so many. The fear of speaking, and hand in hand with that, the crippling embarrassment that comes when you feel like you might make a mistake.
Oh, I totally get that. The deer in headlights moment. It's like your brain just decides to protect you by shutting down completely. That fear of making a fool of yourself is so powerful, isn't it? How do you even begin to tackle something so ingrained, that primal fear?
It is, and it's completely natural. We're wired to avoid perceived threats. And for many, making a public mistake feels like a threat. But here's the thing. Everyone, absolutely everyone, makes mistakes when learning a new language. Native speakers make mistakes. The key is to reframe it. Instead of seeing a mistake as a failure, see it as data, a necessary step in the learning process. My best advice for fear of speaking and embarrassment is to start small. Don't leap into a full-blown debate if you're not ready. Try talking to yourself in English while you're doing chores. Narrate your day. I'm making coffee now. It's hot. Then maybe record yourself. Listen back. It sounds silly, but it builds confidence in a safe space. Then move to low-stakes interactions. An online language exchange partner, a patient friend, or even ordering food in English when you're abroad, even if it's just, coffee please. The more you do it, the more you realize the sky won't fall. And most people are incredibly understanding and encouraging. They've been there too.
That's brilliant advice, taking the pressure off and building up gradually. I love the idea of narrating your day to yourself. It makes it feel less like studying and more like just living. But what about the mechanics of it? Many people struggle with feeling like they just don't have enough words, the dreaded lack of vocabulary. You know, they have the grammar rules somewhat down, but when they want to express a nuanced thought, the words just aren't there.
Ah, the vocabulary wall. It's super common. People often think they need to memorize thousands of words in isolation, flashcard after flashcard, which can be incredibly tedious and, frankly, not very effective for long-term retention. Our brains don't store isolated facts well. They store connections. So instead of trying to memorize apple and banana separately, try learning them in context. For example, when you learn apple, learn a red apple, an apple a day, apple pie. Learn phrases, not just single words. Also, immerse yourself actively. Don't just read a book, look up words you don't know. Write them down in a sentence and try to use them immediately in conversation or writing. Watch TV shows or movies in English with English subtitles. Pause, look up words, and jot them down. Think about what you talk about in your native language. What are your hobbies? What do you do for work? Focus on vocabulary relevant to your life first, because you'll actually use it. It makes the learning immediately practical and much more rewarding, and honestly, less overwhelming. You don't need every word in the dictionary overnight.
That makes so much sense. It's about building a relevant lexicon, not just a massive list. And that ties into another huge barrier, bad study methods. We've all been there, right? You're sitting with a textbook, passively reading, maybe highlighting a few things and feeling like you're studying. But then you realize you haven't really retained much. What are some of those common pitfalls in study methods that you see? And what are the effective alternatives?
Absolutely. Bad study methods are a real trap. One of the biggest is passive consumption, just watching a show without actively engaging, or simply reading a chapter without testing yourself. Another is trying to cram everything in at the last minute. That's a recipe for forgetting. Also, focusing solely on grammar rules without enough practical application. We learn by doing, not just by observing. Effective alternatives? First, active recall. Instead of just rereading notes, close the book and try to explain what you just learned out loud or write it down. Use flashcards, but make sure you're actively recalling the answer, not just flipping it over. Second, spaced repetition. Don't study a topic once and then forget it for weeks. Review material at increasing intervals. There are apps that do this really well. Third, productive output. Speak, write, translate. Try to explain a concept in English to someone, even if it's just your dog. Write a short journal entry. The act of producing the language forces your brain to retrieve and process information in a deeper way. It's challenging, but it's where real learning happens. And finally, make it enjoyable. If you hate your textbook, find an English podcast you love, or a blog, or a YouTube channel. Learning shouldn't feel like a chore you dread.
Oh, make it enjoyable, because that leads directly into our next big barrier, lack of consistency. We all start with this burst of motivation, right? New year, new language. And then life happens. Work gets busy, other hobbies call, and suddenly those daily 30-minute English sessions turn into weekly, then monthly, then never. How do we keep that momentum going when motivation inevitably wanes?
This is a huge one, and it's where most people falter. Consistency beats intensity every single time. It's better to do 10 minutes of English every day than 2 hours once a week. When motivation fades, discipline has to kick in. The trick is to make learning English a habit, not just something you do when you feel like it. Tiny habits are powerful. Don't aim for an hour a day if that feels overwhelming. Aim for 5 minutes, seriously. 5 minutes of reviewing flashcards, listening to a song in English, or even just thinking in English. It's so small that you almost can't say no. Once you start, you often find yourself doing more. Integrate English into your daily life. Change your phone language. Follow English-speaking accounts on social media. Listen to English music or podcasts while you commute or clean. Make it unavoidable. And track your progress. Seeing a streak of consecutive days can be incredibly motivating. Give yourself small rewards for hitting milestones. It's about creating a system that supports your learning even when your enthusiasm isn't at its peak. Remember, it's the compound effect of small efforts over time that leads to massive results.
That's such a vital point about tiny habits. It feels achievable, and those small wins build up. But I think sometimes underlying all these barriers is something else. Unrealistic expectations. People expect to be fluent in a few months, or they see someone on social media who seems effortlessly bilingual, and they get disheartened because their own progress doesn't match that instant gratification. How do we manage those expectations and stay positive on what is, as you said, a marathon?
You've hit on something so crucial there. Unrealistic expectations can be devastating to a language learner's morale. The truth is, becoming fluent takes years, not months. And fluent itself is a moving target. Even native speakers are always learning new words. The biggest pitfall here is comparing your behind-the-scenes struggle with someone else's highlight reel. What you see online often doesn't show the hundreds or thousands of hours of effort, the mistakes, the frustration. My advice is to redefine success. Don't aim for fluency initially. Aim for, I can order a meal successfully, or I can understand 70% of this podcast, or I had a 5-minute conversation without freezing. Celebrate these small, tangible victories. Each one is a stepping stone. Also, understand that learning isn't linear. There will be plateaus, moments where you feel like you're not progressing at all. That's normal. Push through them. And finally, be kind to yourself. You're doing something amazing, stretching your brain in incredible ways. Acknowledge the effort, appreciate the journey, and trust that with consistent, smart effort, you will absolutely get there.
That is so incredibly encouraging. Redefine success. I think that's a takeaway we all need, not just for language learning, but for so many aspects of life. So, to recap for our listeners, don't let the fear of speaking paralyze you. Start small, make mistakes your friends. Build your vocabulary strategically, not just with rote memorization. Ditch those passive study methods for active recall and productive output. Embrace tiny habits for consistency, and above all, manage your expectations, celebrate every small win, and be kind to yourself on this incredible journey. Thank you so much for sharing all these amazing insights and practical tips. I feel inspired, and I know our listeners do too.
My pleasure. Just remember, every single word you learn, every sentence you form, every conversation you attempt, no matter how small or imperfect, is a victory. Keep going, Keep speaking and keep learning. You absolutely got this.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to your next chapter. Today, we're diving headfirst into a topic that truly has the power to reshape your entire world: the incredible benefits of learning English. It's not just another language, it's a gateway, a tool, a transformative experience. We're talking about unlocking a future brimming with possibilities you might not even realize are within your reach. Our goal today is to really unpack how English can radically improve your life, both personally and professionally, and give you that spark, that drive to either start your journey or reignite your passion for learning.
Absolutely. It's so much more than just grammar and vocabulary, isn't it? When we talk about learning English, we're really talking about opening up an entirely new dimension of life. I've seen firsthand and experienced myself how it literally changes trajectories for people, from what kind of job you can get to where you can travel, to even how you perceive the world around you. It's honestly one of the most empowering skills you can acquire in today's globalized world. I'm really excited to share some stories and insights today that I hope will resonate with our listeners.
That's exactly it: empowerment. So let's kick things off with something very tangible that's on many people's minds: career opportunities and, let's be frank, income potential. In a competitive job market, how does proficiency in English really impact someone's professional journey and their earning power? Give us the real scoop.
Oh, it's monumental. Think about it. The world's business language is overwhelmingly English. If you want to work for an international company, access global markets, or even move up in a local company that deals with international clients or partners, English is often a non-negotiable skill. It immediately broadens your job search from a local pool to a global one. Suddenly, you're eligible for positions in multinational corporations, tech giants, or even remote roles that pay significantly more. I've heard countless stories, like one from a friend, let's call her Maria, who was stuck in a dead-end job. She dedicated herself to learning English, even taking night classes after work. Within 2 years, she landed a position in the HR department of a major international tech company based right in her city, simply because she could communicate effectively with their global teams. Her salary literally doubled. This isn't just an isolated incident, it's a common narrative. Companies are willing to pay a premium for employees who can bridge language gaps, manage international projects, and navigate diverse business cultures. It's an investment in you that pays dividends in your paycheck and your professional growth, you know? It's not just about getting a job, it's about getting a better job and having greater upward mobility.
Wow, Maria's story is incredibly inspiring. It really puts into perspective how English isn't just a nice-to-have, but a must-have for significant career advancement. And it's true. When you look at job descriptions today, English proficiency is almost always listed, even for roles you might not traditionally think would require it. But beyond the boardroom and the bank account, what about the world outside? Travel, culture, information access. How does English unlock those experiences and make them richer, easier, and more profound for learners?
That's where the magic truly happens for many people, especially in their personal lives. Imagine traveling anywhere in the world, Europe, Asia, South America, and being able to communicate with locals, order food without pointing at pictures, ask for directions confidently, and even haggle in local markets. It transforms a tourist trip into an immersive adventure. You're not just observing, you're participating. My cousin, for example, used to dread international travel because of the language barrier. After consistently practicing English for a year, she went on a solo trip to Italy. She wasn't fluent, but she could get by, and she told me it was the most liberating experience of her life. She connected with other travelers, shared stories with hostel owners, and felt so much safer and more independent. And it's not just travel, it's about information too. So much of the world's most valuable information, scientific research, breaking news, cutting-edge technology articles, global entertainment, documentaries, it's all published and discussed in English first. Learning English means you're no longer limited to information available in your native tongue. You can access a vast ocean of knowledge, watch movies and TV shows in their original form without waiting for dubs or relying solely on subtitles, listen to podcasts from around the globe, and truly understand diverse perspectives. It just makes the world feel so much smaller and more accessible, you know?
That's such a powerful point about breaking down barriers, both geographical and informational. It truly expands your horizons in every sense. And it's not just about external benefits, right? There's a profound internal transformation that happens when you master a new language, especially one as widely spoken as English. What about the personal growth aspects? Things like improved confidence, sharper communication skills, and the incredible ability to connect with people from completely different cultures. How does English foster those deeper, more personal changes?
Oh, this is probably my favorite part. Learning English is a massive confidence booster. Think about it. You're stepping outside your comfort zone, grappling with new sounds, new sentence structures, and eventually expressing complex ideas in a foreign language. Every small victory, every successful conversation, every time you understand a movie without subtitles builds your self-esteem. You start to realize, hey, I can do this. This newfound confidence often spills over into other areas of your life, making you bolder in your career, more social, and more willing to take on new challenges. Then there are the communication skills. To be a good English speaker, you often have to be very precise and clear. It forces you to think critically about how you express yourself, which in turn sharpens your overall communication abilities, even in your native language. You learn to articulate thoughts more effectively, listen more intently, and adapt your style. But perhaps the most beautiful benefit is the ability to connect with people from different cultures. Language is the key to understanding, isn't it? When you can speak English, you can have genuine conversations with people from literally hundreds of countries. You hear their stories, understand their perspectives, share your own, and build bridges of empathy and understanding. I'll never forget meeting someone from Sudan during my travels. We connected solely through English, sharing stories about our lives, our dreams, and our challenges. It wasn't just a conversation, it was a profound moment of human connection that transcended our vastly different backgrounds. That's the real magic of English. It fosters a sense of global community and makes you feel more connected to humanity as a whole.
That story perfectly encapsulates the heart of what we're talking about, the human connection. It's truly incredible how a language can open up not just opportunities, but your very heart and mind to the world. For anyone listening right now, feeling that surge of inspiration, thinking, okay, I want this transformation too. What are some practical, actionable insights or first steps they can take to start or continue their English learning journey? What advice would you give them to make it an engaging, uplifting, and valuable experience rather than just another chore?
Absolutely. The biggest piece of advice I can give is to make it a part of your daily life, not just a textbook exercise. Immerse yourself. Start small. Change your phone's language to English. Listen to English music. Watch movies and TV shows with English subtitles, then try without them. Find a podcast you love, like this one, and just listen. Consistency is key, even if it's just 15-20 minutes a day. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn. Seriously, embrace every error as a learning opportunity. Look for opportunities to practice speaking, even if it's talking to yourself in the mirror, describing your day. There are so many online communities, language exchange partners, and apps that can connect you with native speakers or fellow learners. Find a community, join a class, or even get a tutor if you can. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress and communication. Celebrate every small win, every new word you learn, every sentence you form. It's a journey, not a race. Most importantly, remember why you're doing it. Whether it's for that dream job, that incredible travel experience, or simply to feel more confident and connected. Keep that motivation alive, and you'll be amazed at how far you can go.
Such fantastic, actionable advice. It's a journey, not a race. That resonates so deeply. So there you have it, everyone. Learning English isn't just about adding a skill to your resume. It's about unlocking a richer, more connected, and truly global life. From expanding your career horizons and boosting your income, to traveling the world with confidence and connecting with diverse cultures, the benefits are truly limitless. It improves your confidence, sharpens your communication, and gives you access to an unparalleled wealth of information. If you've been on the fence, we hope today's episode has given you that final push to embrace the power of English.
It's an investment in yourself that will pay dividends for years to come.
Indeed. Think of it as investing in your future self, a self that's more confident, more connected, and more capable of navigating our incredible interconnected world. Take that first step or the next one today. You won't regret it. The doors it open are truly extraordinary.